Establishing contingent beneficiaries in your wills and trust is very important. And the reason for this is we always want to have a backup plan so that if something didn't happen according to our original plan, we have something in there as a backup. So when I talk about contingent beneficiaries, it's important to understand what a contingent beneficiary is. So a contingent beneficiary is a beneficiary that doesn't necessarily receive an outright distribution or a distribution of a percentage of the estate. A contingent beneficiary is someone who only receives if the people that were originally supposed to receive in the plan weren't able to. And this is where we have contingent beneficiaries or contingent backups, as we also call it. So it's important when you are creating your plan to make sure when you have your beneficiaries that you want, whether it's through your will or your trust, you also have a set of contingent backup beneficiaries. Within your will and your trust, you have the ability to set up contingency plans to make sure that any family dynamics that may happen are addressed specifically in your plan because we never know what life is going to give to us. So it's important that with the potential of the things that could happen, we have it in our plan to try and address those. Some of those could be if you have adult children that get married, would you want distributions to go to them? Would you want it to go to their spouse if they would married, or would you want it to go to your grandchildren, right? Their heirs. Other changes that are important to have as backups in those unexpected family dynamic changes is if somebody were to pass away, who would inherit? Sometimes we call this a contingent beneficiary. It's also important from a family dynamic perspective to have more than one agent identified. And so when you're looking at your documents, and putting those important people in place, we generally recommend having one agent that you would have as a primary and then listing two as backups. That way, if something were to happen, maybe there was a car accident and you had that one agent with you, you would have those backup agents, or what we would sometimes call co-agents or co-trustees or backup trustees that would be listed there. So when you have a trust, the trust allows you to be able to manage if you were to become incapacitated. And so this is basically a plan that if something were to happen to you, maybe you were to get sick, maybe there was an accident, your trust would actually have special provisions in it that say specifically what to do if you were to become incapacitated. And so what this allows you to be able to do is say, here is the agent that I want, generally called a trustee, that would be able to step in and act in that role to make sure that you, during your incapacitated state, were taken care of. And so it's important with having a trust that you have this specific information in your trust so that if something were to happen to you and you were to be incapacitated, your trustee would be able to step in and take care of things. So, when we think about estate planning, a lot of times people don't think of contingency planning along with it. So, when we look at contingency planning, it's once you have your legal plans in place, it's the what if the plans weren't able to be followed through? What if the people that I have identified in my plans weren't able to act in the roles that I've identified them? So, it's almost like having this backup plan to your plan is what we would call a contingency plan. And while we're doing all of this planning, it's important to make sure that when you have this legal plan in place, that you have a backup plan to go along with it. So if you have been thinking about doing your estate plan, then you should be thinking about having a contingency backup to that plan. We at Hermance Law are here to assist you when you are ready to get started.